I've spent over $35K on AI tools, consultants, and courses for my business, and most of it was a complete waste. Here's what actually worked and what I do differently if I was starting over today. I'm gonna break down exactly where my money went, why most of it made things worse, not better, and the one framework that actually changed how I use AI in my business. So if you're a founder or business owner who's been spending on AI without seeing real results, this is the video I wish someone had made for me 2 years ago. Let me tell you where the money actually went, because nobody talks about this part. When I first started going all in on AI for my business, I did what most founders do. I bought courses, I hired consultants, I subscribed to every tool that looked like it could give me an edge. ChatGPT, Claude, automation platforms, workflow builders, you name it. If someone was selling a solution that promised to make my business better, leaner, or faster, or more scalable with AI, I bought it. And every purchase made sense at the time, right? Every course had great testimonials. Every consultant sounded like they knew what they were doing. Every tool had a killer demo. I wasn't being reckless. I was just doing what smart founders do, right? I was investing in the thing that I knew mattered. But here's what I didn't realize until I was too deep into it, is that none of it was connected. I was buying solutions to problems that I didn't actually have yet. I was collecting tools without a strategy for any of them to fit together. And every time something didn't work, I didn't question the approach. I just went and bought the next thing. So let me give you some specific examples. When I first started getting into AI, I had Claude, I had ChatGPT, I had Perplexity. I was still paying for software that was AI enabled, like Gong AI, to do my sales calls. And here's the thing, is I was so busy trying to stack tools and throw things at the wall that none of it actually moved the needle. None of it actually made me any money, saved me any time, or unblocked my biggest constraint. And that's the part that nobody warns you about, is you can spend a fortune on AI and feel like you're making progress the entire time because every individual purchase feels smart. But if there's no framework connecting it all together, you're just building an expensive pile of stuff that doesn't actually talk to each other. And here's what nobody told me. Every AI tool that I added was actually making my business harder to run. And I know that sounds backwards, so let me explain what I actually mean. Because most founders think the problem is that they haven't found the right tool yet. So they keep looking, they subscribe to something new, they try to bolt it onto their business, and when it doesn't work, they assume it was the wrong tool, so they go find another one, and the stack keeps growing. But here's what's actually happening. AI doesn't fix the inefficiencies in your business, it amplifies them. If your sales process has leaks, an AI tool doesn't patch those leaks, it just speeds up the leaking. So if your operations depend on you for every decision, AI doesn't free you up, it just gives you more decisions to make faster. Okay, you're not solving the problem, you're scaling the problem. Think about it like this. Imagine you have a headache, and instead of trying to figure out why your head hurts, you walk into a pharmacy and you start buying everything on the shelf. Pain relievers, cold medicine, vitamins, sleep aids. You're literally spending money and taking action, but you never actually diagnose the problem. Maybe you're dehydrated. Maybe you need glasses. I don't know. The pharmacy didn't help because the pharmacy was never the issue. And that's exactly what most founders are doing with AI, is they're walking into the tool store and they're buying everything that looks promising without ever diagnosing what's actually broken in their business in the first place. And here's the thing, the tools weren't the problem, the tools were fine. The problem was that there was no diagnosis before the prescription. And after all that spending, the thing that finally worked, it cost me nothing. It was one question. What is the single biggest constraint in my business right now? Not what AI tool should I use, not how do I automate more, not what's everyone else doing with AI, just what is the one bottleneck that if I removed it, it would unlock the most growth in my business? And that question changed everything for me, and it's the foundation of everything that I teach now. And we call it the constraint-first AI implementation. And the idea is really simple. Most founders go tool first, they pick a platform, they subscribe, and then they walk around their business trying to find places to stick it. That's actually backwards. What I want you to do is start with the constraint. You identify the single biggest bottleneck in your business, the thing that's actually capping your growth right now, and then you aim AI directly at that. The tool becomes the last decision, not the first. And here's why this matters so much, is when you know the constraint, everything actually gets simpler. You stop browsing tool directories, you stop watching comparison videos, you stop asking people what they're using, because you're not shopping anymore. You're solving a specific problem, and when you're solving a specific problem, you buy less and you implement faster. And the ROI is obvious because you're measuring against the bottleneck that was actually holding you back in the first place. Now, the reason this is so hard for founders like us is that we're wired to solve problems by doing more. That's how we built our businesses. More effort, more hours, more tools, more hires. The constraint-first approach says that you should do the opposite. Do less, but aim it at the right thing. And that's a completely different operating system for someone who got where they are by outworking everybody else. One question, that's all it took to turn the entire AI conversation from overwhelming to obvious. So after all the wasted money and failed experiments, here's what I actually walked away with. This isn't a tool list. I'm not gonna tell you to go subscribe to 5 things. These are the principles that made everything else work. First, start with your constraint, not your curiosity. Every dollar I wasted went towards something that sounded smart, but wasn't aimed at the real bottleneck. The courses were interesting, the tools were impressive, but none of that actually pointed at the thing that was actually capping my growth. The moment I got the specific details about my constraints, the spending got smaller and the results got way bigger. Second, AI is infrastructure, not a hack. You can't just sprinkle it on top of your business and expect things to change. It has to be wired into how your business actually operates, your workflows, your team, your systems, okay? Founders who treat AI like a shortcut, they get shortcut results. Founders who treat it like infrastructure build something that compounds. The difference between founders who spend $1,000 with nothing to show for it and founders who transform their business was never about the budget. It was having a framework before spending a single dollar. If you take nothing else from this video, do this one thing before you spend another dollar on AI. Run the constraint test. Sit down, block off 30 minutes, and identify the single biggest bottleneck in your business right now. Not the thing that annoys you the most, not the thing that your team keeps complaining about, the one constraint that if you removed it would unlock the most growth in your company. Maybe it's lead flow, maybe it's that you're still on every sales call, maybe it's that your team can't operate without you in the room. Whatever it is, name it, and once you have it, that's where AI goes first. Not everywhere, not on the cool stuff you saw on Twitter, directly on the constraint. Build one AI-supported workflow around that bottleneck, prove that it works, and then expand from there. That's the difference between founders who spend months collecting tools and founders who see results in weeks. Same AI, same tools available to both. One has a target, the other one's just guessing. So if you're a founder or a business owner consistently doing 100K per month or more, and you're tired of wasting money on AI tools and consultants that don't move the needle, that's exactly what we solve inside of Prime Elite. We help you find your biggest constraint, aim AI directly at it, and build the systems that actually scale your business without adding more to your plate. You get a one-on-one VIP day, 4 in-person accelerator events a year, weekly calls, and a room full of founders who are all building AI-powered businesses the right way. If that sounds like what you've been looking for, click the link in the description and apply. Look, I made every mistake that I just told you about. I spent the money, I chased the tools, I hired the wrong people to figure it out for me, and the only reason that I can sit here and tell you not to do that is because I did it all first. So if nothing else, let this video save you a whole bunch of time and frustration. Stop buying, start diagnosing. Find your constraint, aim AI at it, and everything else is noise. I'll see you on the next video.